Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to Gaming, and let's play Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars. It's been quite a long time, so I'll be damned if I can remember where we are. Yes, we had just been searching Mr. Khan's pants. Now, I do recall because... Do you know why I recall? I recall because... I had just stolen some stuff from his trousers.
What now, monsieur?
What had we taken? I believe we had taken...
Did I show you this photograph?
Oh, we've already shown him that.
Would it make a difference?
We are movie stars.
Alright.
This
this one.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, monsieur.
Oh, maybe not. What else do we have?
Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little hook to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
No, monsieur. The hotel is regularly serviced by an exorcist. If we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
Father Fécond,
I you want the key back.
Not especialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation, I won't stop you.
Well, that seems a little odd. And what have you, Randy, old lady? What have you found out?
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
How do you get your hair that purple?
That gangster I told you about? He went through my pockets just now.
Good heavens! One never knows what to expect in foreign parts. Thank you for the warning, young man. I shall hide my credit cards in my underwear.
Oh, good God.
I found this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
It came from the Club Alamut. It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
How would I find out?
Did I show you this?
Yes.
This is the key.
That's next to...
Yes.
Really?
Maybe it was my imagination.
We must be missing something. Clearly there was something else to find in his room. I'm guessing. In the trousers.
There was nothing in the pocket. The pocket was empty. A strip along the side seam of the... then sewn back up with...
Oh, I thought we had undone
turned
that
the pants
stitching.
over again. I pulled on the metal tag and it was like...
I was sure we've already
I turned the
done
pants
that.
over again.
Oh
I
well.
searched the pocket. It read... time.
In fact, I know for a fact we've already done this. Okay. Well, that's strange, but you know, we won't question. Now we'll go through the bloody whole damn procedure again.
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're not a
You're making a
priest.
big mistake.
Maybe. I can live with that. A murderer? Are you sure?
Positive.
Well, not going to get anywhere with the French concierge. Now, the reason I have returned, well, isn't just because I recently returned back to having time and
Hello, George. What
the
can I
will
do for you now?
to actually play this game.
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
Well, I'll just get through this dialogue.
That deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. I showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be scared of.
Oh, God.
Me, George?
Is because, you know, I've been looking for that perfect game to do a Let's Play of. XCOM was that game, but XCOM is, you know, been and gone
in
now.
the hotel safe.
I did, madame.
And did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
He isn't Merlin.
A mere academic detail. Give him the package.
But that is against the law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
Judge
One moment,
Piermont.
please.
Law!
You know, I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
That concierge
Voilà,
isn't a
monsieur.
stereotype in
Le
the slightest.
manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
Oh, can't do anything without Nico holding hand. Right, my point, I did have a point, was I've been looking for that perfect game. And I don't know that the perfect game is this, I don't know that it's Skyrim, because obviously this doesn't give me a great deal of involvement. Skyrim will just go on and on and on and on. So, I need something that's going to fit between that bracket. What you're going to see on this channel for the time being, after I've done a couple more videos of this, and I'm not finishing this by any means, is a few different Let's Plays, just a few different two-parters of Let's Plays, starting at games, and we'll see what gets the best response, see what gets your fire up, as it were, and grabs your interest. I could run it through the simple thing of the one that gets the most amount of comments is the one I will play, but we will see what happens, and I'm quite looking forward to the experiment. So this and Skyrim won't necessarily end, but I need a game that is going to draw all of you, the viewers, such as you are, in, and also draw
Couldn't
me
leave the
in.
hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
Well, back up to the ledge then. So I don't know what you think about that, but if you've got any games that you particularly want me to play that I might be able to get my hands on fairly cheap, then do say so. I also have various games I'm already prepared to start on.
The
Can we
cobbles
jump?
of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard. I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
Good job this isn't one of those traditional French open sewer jobs that I've heard of. Don't you know they go in a hole in the ground? Madame Piermont, play something different for Christ's sake.
Hold it right there. Search him again.
How do you get your moustache like that, Guido?
Nothing, Guido.
Okay, let him go.
Thank you.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed.
Haha!
I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and check it out.
Meanwhile, back in Nico's apartment.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Come in, George.
I'm already in. I just let myself in like the serial killer I am.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
Yeah, you lazy bitch.
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything?
I wear glasses,
Not
personally.
yet.
I find it more cost
I'm
effective.
employing myself as a most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
Well, your relationship blossoms before my eyes.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone, a guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
No,
Tell me
they
more
don't
about
often
your
help
family.
you.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma.
My
They were the
mother,
best times.
she said to
Warm
me...
and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment in this noisy city.
Well,
This in
that's
the killer's
sound up.
room.
You
What
just
is
passed
it,
me
a credit
nothing.
ID. Thomas Merlin of the Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
I believe they tried to take down skyscrapers.
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
It's a medieval manuscript.
That's
Khan
more
left
like
it in
it.
a safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantark?
It could be, which means it's worth enough to kill for.
To die
Look
for.
there, 2 guys on the same horse.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar? Their official seal was an image of 2 knights sharing a horse.
They must have been a friendly
Whatever this
bunch.
manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades.
I'm guessing that's very popular in today's press.
This guy, named
Ooh.
Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture and confessed to heresy. Of course, at the hands of the Inquisition, there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to. The last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Oh,
Jeez.
well, there you go.
So the treasure is
I'm
hidden,
sure they
waiting
just
to be
missed a bit.
discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years.
I didn't click on anything to
Anyway.
jump there, by the way.
We're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his
One and the
accomplices
same.
are after. Maybe
It's a
this
mimic.
manuscript is the key.
It's been killing
We'd
people.
better leave it here for safekeeping.
Yeah, this place looks safe.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. A knight with a crystal ball. Now, there's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's
If
written
you
in
can
Latin.
read this, you're too
Ad
close.
Disciplinum mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I
Oh,
studied
the
law, okay?
priest.
I can
No,
read Latin.
no, actually, I'm not
Man,
going
you're
there.
touchy. Tell me that again.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod.
Look there, 2 guys on the same horse.
We know.
There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place, I reckon. Somewhere famed for weaving and
Bed.
ships.
Where folk
Let-
live in barrels?
Let's
With big
investigate
copper
bed
boxes.
together.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
I was going
She
to
was
make
the
a
one
reference.
who said mirror, mirror on the wall, wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me in the least.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
Well, the
Let's
crocodile
take
was
this with
better than
help,
Captain
George.
Hook.
Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I know a guy
Name
who
drop.
specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krön Museum. I'll give you the address.
Okay.
I have to go.
Okay.
Let's go to the museum. We're making progress.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar, though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
Most scholars
They ask you to
dress
park
like
the
that.
cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobino.
You seem to have a bit of a man
Do you know
crush on
anything
him.
about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
I think you mean saucisson.
Do you recognize this ID pass?
No.
I think this man's usefulness
Thanks
is going
for
to
your help.
be limited at best.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill, and the fat falls on the open flames. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled, and it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows
They'll
closed.
be eating horses next. Now that tripod looks familiar.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marn at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory.
But Jesus.
Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
was
might
excited.
disturb one of the other many patrons here. Oh dear.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Sarcophagus.
Closet? It's a
No,
sarcophagus.
to see, what am I? Why am I even here? Don't need to tell you all these things. George Stobart can do it. All right, how do we get to France? Not France, Ireland.
Hi. I've been to the Croon Museum.
Did you speak to Lobino?
No, he wasn't there.
Considering she considers that a pokey apartment, to me it seems pretty damn good.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Loch Marn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
She
No,
writes.
I write it.
Oh dear. I could have written this
Professor
game.
Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a 4th series of his popular television program.
Time Team with Tony
This site at Loch
Robinson.
Marn must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
But I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Peakram's Dam is important, why don't you visit Lochmarn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
Oh dear God.
Have you found out any more about...
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clans
When?
the second week of July.
Did they meet?
I don't know.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
I'm going to Ireland. To the airport. A few hours later and some
I passed
dodgy
the castle
food.
on the way into Lochmarn. The castle where Peagram's excavation was located.
Dozens of Bradys dancing along on the pavement. Hey, 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 hey. Fiddly do, fiddly do, fiddly die do.
Hi there.
What?
Tabby sure now.
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
Not very good Catholic.
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, mister. A few
Don't
sandwiches.
thrust
short
that
of
groin
a
at me.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
There's a
What are you doing
shot.
hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run from me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chop firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, ma, says I, see what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in
Ran.
the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful.
No,
Compared to
I've
him,
had many an Irish
Huckleberry Finn
person
was
tell
a
me the
candidate
same
for Ulster
tale.
Boy of the Year. What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get inside?
No, it's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only, what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No,
What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing.
So you are scared of something.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
And then I'm going to
Oh,
shoot you
yeah?
like an American
And
would.
what if I don't?
Then I'm taking you back to school.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Lochmarn.
Ah!
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst.
Like
It was
Bravos.
coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Lochmarn, they all dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see? And he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, Only no one believes him.
Well, who thinks clowns are dangerous,
While
really?
he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
I don't remember John
My
Wayne Gacy
God.
ever using a
That doesn't
chainsaw.
sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I
A
can't because
Pegram
he's
boat?
not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Pegram was doing?
I'm
in the
going to teach
castle?
you how to speak
Digging
proper
for buried
English,
treasure.
you little...
Jewels and
Pleb.
gold and skeletons, like in the films.
Well,
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
to the pub. Play the fiddle a little louder.
He wasn't listening.
Ah.
Hello there. My name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure. I'm O'Brien. Can I help you?
What's your first name, O'Brien? Just O.
Have you heard of the Phantom?
More than that.
No
I've seen it. And let me
Phantom
tell
of
you,
Castle Lockman
it's a
is
dreadful
there.
spectre.
Inside
So it's not
your
just a local
mind.
legend. There really is a Phantom of Lochmarsh.
Oh no, I was talking about the Phantom
Yeah.
of the Opera.
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
I most certainly have. A remarkable institution. Did you know? They were the originators of our system of credit. Their financial empire stretched from the Atlantic to the Caspian Sea. With bases in so many countries, they had to establish new methods of fiscal transfer.
So, the Knights Templar were nothing but a bunch of bankers.
I don't get it. Are you saying these Templar guys invented bank charges?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose they did.
What a dirty trick. Didn't anyone try to stop them?
Oh yes, they were arrested and many were burnt at the stake.
Good. They bloody well deserved it if they were anything like my bank manager.
Especially even more true now, given Ireland's current financial climate. How portentous this game is.
What can you tell me about the castle, Mr. O'Brien?
It's a fine sight now, isn't it? Dates back to the 10th century, you know. Most of the existing building was added much later, of course.
Are the ruins open to the public?
Oh no, it's much too dangerous. Anyway, there's nothing of interest remaining.
How can I get into the castle?
But those walls were built specifically to stop people getting in, Mr. Stobart.
Usually there's
But
a
I
door.
dare say you'll find a way, if you've the will.
Can you tell me about the tripod which was found at the castle?
Now there's a bone of contention and controversy. It was dug up by an
And
Englishman of the
consternation,
Archaeological
constitution,
Institute.
and con
Who was this
artists.
Englishman?
Professor Pegram, the same man who dug up the gem.
Do
Pegram,
you know where I
eh?
can find Pegram?
You're too late to meet that fella.
Is he dead?
Not that. But he's gone from the village. A sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
Dear God, look at that beard.
Do you know where Pegram is gone?
I'm sorry, but I don't. He upped anchor in the dark and shipped out before the dawn.
Why did he do that?
Who knows? A guilty conscience or a secret assignation. Whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Lochmar. Maybe now the fuss about the gem has died down. We can get back to normal.
What can you tell me about the gem which Pegram found?
Now there's a gem which should never have been taken. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's your interest in the jewel? You're not a reporter, are you?
Let's say no.
Oh no.
Thank the Lord for that.
No, what about the Amish guy behind the bar?
Why is Pegram's departure upset the landlord?
He's lost a paying guest. That's why. More than that. There's the question of an unsettled bill. Poor Michael's seen red over the business, and I don't blame him.